Today, as you see in the thumbnail, we want to reminisce. I, as the creator, as the player, quote unquote, want the fun cards back. Now, granted, when it comes to the game, a lot of times there are two types of players: the people who want the realism, the cards that relive epic moments. We get that with like the Jose Bautista. We get that with some of these no-hitter cards, some MVPs of great seasons. However, I think there is one thing that 24 did better than 25 has so far, and that was the thumbnails you see there, the fun card series that they brought out. The action figure series, which was a Team Infinity set, which was really fun, and alongside probably the favorite set they've ever done since I've been here, the Out of Position series. Both of them were really fun. Today we're finally going to focus more on the Out of Position series because that was more entertaining. Now, granted, do I think that's going to come out again? Probably not. It doesn't really seem like they're a rinse, wash, and repeat kind of people when it comes to that. We'll take a look at the first two real packs from Team Infinity. Realistically, the real ones, excluding All-Star, which comes out every year to Team Infinity, and alongside Finest, of course, that's coming out later. But the stuff that's sort of in between, that kind of stuff, because I think if we want to have some creativity, now's the time. And again, I was in a minority when it came to the Out of Position stuff. I thought the Out of Position stuff was actually really fun. It spiced up the game when it felt like the game was kind of stale. Now, again, for most people back then, they might not have liked it. I thought it was really cool. I really hope they bring it back this year. But again, they really don't. So now leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff as we dive into the fun stuff that was last year and sort of talk about the exclusive stuff they've done so far this year. It's going to be a fun one. Let's get into it. So here we are. We're over on the YouTube portions of things here. And in that, we're going to be taking a look at an older video of mine yet again. Why? Well, because I need to reminisce, mainly just so I could see things and when we talk about them. So this is what I'm kind of talking about here. This is the series. This is the Out of Position guys. Manny Machado, who was a third baseman, got a relief pitching card. Yeah, they were 95s. Welcome back to Sets and Seasons. You see set 30. Look at that. Four-seam sinker, slurve cutter. Wasn't the most meta guy, but the card was fun. I mean, I didn't realize he was 19. And look at the other cards in this as we kind of just scrub our way through this here. As you sort of go along here. He could hit, by the way. He did have hitting stats, right? Yeah, he did. He had hitting stats. He was a two-way. Kind of. Cutter Crawford was a shortstop. Look at that. Look at Cutter Crawford, man, with the high contact and stuff. Well, where was it? Shane McClanahan was a first baseman. What was else here? Cutter Crawford. And, oh, yeah, the NL with that disgusting Jacob deGrom card. Can I pull up? Look at this guy. 104, 102, 101, 101. The card was gross. Could he field? Kind of, sort of, whatever. Now it would have been bad with the 70 reaction, but that's neither here nor there. Otherwise, pretty great card. I thought it was fun. A Nolan Ryan, that was a center field. You know what they did for the Angels? They had this. This is Mike Trout. That was a starting pitch with the sinker, circle change, slurve, slider, and a cutter. Mind you, he was a two-way Mike Trout too, by the way. Look at this. Look at that. See, look at that. He could play short. He could hit and pitch. He was a modern-day Shohei Ohtani, I tell you. These were all really fun cards. Now, coupled alongside probably some really cool artwork here. Let me see if I can find it. Where was it? There was an action figure series that had really cool art that we got. Where is it? Paul O'Neill's a catcher. That's right. I'm just scrubbing, so I'm trying to see if I can find it because it's. I think the BR cards were. Was a few. There it is. And some of the coolest artwork this game's ever produced. The action figure series with like Felix Bautista. The card art was really cool. It was a cool, nifty little thing that they put together. Now, again, do I expect them to recycle this? No, I really do not. It's not going to be. We're bringing it back in grandiose fashion. However, let's talk about what they have done this year in what I like to call the unique cards that come out with Team Infinity. The latest one was Color Rush. Was it anything spectacular? In terms of artwork, not really. It was just a splash of color that blended in and kind of for these cards that were 92s at the time. I do expect these cards to be 99s when they drop in a couple weeks, but these cards weren't like anything spectacular. They look okay, but they were more collection. And mind you, I haven't finished this one yet. Well, that was Color Storm. That was the second one. I'm sure we're gonna get teases for the next one. next week as the things sort of come around here. The first one was Jolt series. Again, not the cleanest of artwork, but it was modern day players who were 85s. This is when the game first opened up, and you had a lot of, well, sort of like hop skip steps, I guess. Cards that really, like this George Brett, IP5'd him. He's amazing. I love him. Granted, I'm also an Angel Homer, but that's neither here nor there. He's, you know, he's one of them. Press, you know, look at these guys. Like Andrew Miller hang around a lot, you know. Jamie Junior Caminero hang around a lot. Like, these are the first two that came out. Now, ultimately, has there really been anything overly exciting so far in terms of like cards that I'm excited for, or well, stuff that's been different? The Moonshot stuff's been cool. I really like the card design here. This card design is absolutely amazing. The moon, the reflection and stuff, and the stuff like that's all well, fine and dandy. However, when we're looking at kind of where we are in the grand scheme of things, another card art series sort of like this, I just don't think is offering very much in the ways of excitement. Maybe I'm a crazy guy. I probably am. Who are we? Who are we kidding here? It be cray sometimes, but what my point here is, trying to get at is I just want some excitement in the game. It's not so much to me personally, I think there's a fine line between realism and fun. To me, what fun should be incorporated into realism is top now cards. Like, this card's really, really fun. You know, it's been really cool, honest. I mean, they gave the 99 field, the 99 reaction, spectacular, because he made an amazing catch. Like, that should be it. Some of these guys, like Randy, why not give him really high steal? He stole, you know, he stole a base, 2020 guy. Give him good stuff, you know? Stuff like this, where it just feels like these things should roll a little bit better. There was no tops now card for the guy who robbed, I can't think of his name, when he robbed somebody, you know, like there's stuff like that where just I kind of wish these cards were sort of more spot moments than anything, and be fun about it. Like Grant Holmes striking out 15. Why isn't his K per 9 should be like way 120? I know it was a 92, so whatever. But like stuff like that, I much rather them err on the side of fun for some of these cards. Like Logan Hoppy should have more power versus both sides of the plate for the most part, you know? Like stuff like this. This should be the fun outweigh the rule of cool, the fun stuff, you know? That's where these cards really should be. Same thing with Spotlight. They've been good for a month. Why not stick them, you know, give them a really good card? This is where I think the realism and stuff kind of points out. Now, granted, there's stuff like this theory crafting for, you know, stuff right here for some of these cards where it's like, we don't necessarily know what they'll do, but they can fill a void where it's more fun. Like Summer Series, again, this has no real theme. These could be a little bit more fun. That's the point I'm trying to make here as I just ramble and chatter, is that some of these cards, especially like these one-off series cards, should, I think, lean more on the fun side of things. These 20th anniversary cards that were kind of first half kind of cards, these were, again, fun cards. You know, they didn't do anything spectacular. They were fun. These cards can be more realistic. Breakout can be more realistic. Postseason can be more realistic. Cornerstones can be like basically step down from signature series cards. There's plenty of stuff here where I wish they would take the liberty to make them more fun. Like, what's the harm it could do? They kind of did that. What I'm talking about can really be encapsulated with these two guys, like Lou Brock. He's got 80 power and 70 power respectively versus right. Highest power we've seen. Tony Gwynn's got 80 and 90, highest power we've ever seen. Now, a lot of people say it's because the high contact guys just don't do well, which is partially true. However, I think it should be fun. Are you gonna get a high contact Tony Gwynn? 1,000%. But are you gonna, when's the next time you're gonna see a high power Tony Gwynn? It's probably not gonna be ever again, if not for a good while. There's nothing wrong with stepping into the world of imagination for some of these guys, in my opinion. Like Harrison Bader's not exactly a 101 power guy. I don't think he's hit a ton of home runs in his time, you know? Like, there's nothing wrong with this. Like, same thing with where was he? Zach Neto, for instance. Zach Neto's not, I mean, he's a 2020 guy. He could have gotten a little more pop and stuff. You see, my point is, like, I wish there was, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but sometimes I wish the suspension of disbelief would come up a little bit more sometimes. and in that you get stuff that kind of offsets it to a certain degree, where there's the realism and then there's the fun. Now, granted, what do I think the next series is going to be? Probably something kind of random. It seems like that's been the theme the last couple of years with Team Affinity. It's more random-ish cards. I know in 22 or 23 we had, I never really did because the grind was so bad, was horrid, but it was like the photo series, stuff like that. I assume this time, I don't know what necessarily they're gonna do to fill this spot, but I'm hoping it's something fun. Like I said, I think Out of Position, if they brought it back again in some capacity, would be really, really cool. Be really fun. It's a good way, I think, with football coming out. And mind you, Madden does this stuff all the time with some of his Out of Position guys, where guys sort of play stuff. I think it'd be a fun thing to do in the fall, where it's just sort of like, hey, let's see what some of these guys played other spots. Why not try it again? Most of these guys did do other stuff. So to end my rant, I want the fun cards back. Bring me a fun series like Out of Position, or something cool with the good animation like Action Figure. I think both would serve very, very well in the current climate. Now, realistically, to put a bow on all this, do I think one's necessarily better than the other? No, not entirely. Not at all. When it comes to most of the card series, I do think they do a good job. It's just sometimes I kind of wish there was this more video game-esque mentality versus the hyper realism that I think a lot of people want. Mind you, I'm not saying that's bad or anything, but I kind of wish there was a suspension of disbelief, belief sometimes. And I know it's like, but you could play Babe Ruth alongside Jose Bautista. Yeah, 100%. I understand. My main thought is like, dude, it's a video game. Sometimes I just want to have some fun. Let me know down below. Did you guys enjoy the Out of Position stuff last year? Would you be intrigued to see something similar come out later this month or even in this year's game? We're open to discussion around here. I know no one talks, but hey, for those of you who do, I do appreciate it. Let me know down below. Maybe we'll do some more theory crafting on random ass cards as we go along. But until then, my name is Specs, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.